Taurus, welcome to your end of October general tarot reading. And on the 30th, there's actually going to be a new moon in your 7th house of committed partnerships. So this could be like a new lease on life when it comes to a marriage that may be a little bit faltering, or maybe you decide to commit to somebody that you've been dating. Maybe you get engaged or you move in together. But this could have to do with business. It could be that you join forces with somebody, or that you get more clients. You're working one-on-one with more people. So, any of those things, there could be new beginnings in. And as you can see, I've already laid out the cards. I've started this reading like, I don't know how many times since yesterday, so whatever. I left the cards out so that I could just do it over again today, and here I am. And this is the card that was the theme for this last half, and this is the Two of Pentacles. And so you can see there's water behind the person. There is like I think it's almost rather obscure, this potential meaning for the Two of Pentacles being, traveling over water. But I think, it has to do with work. That, whenever you see pentacles, it could have to do with work. It could have to do with money. Career matters, The two is dualistic. So it's like, maybe weighing your options, but also juggling your two jobs if you have more than one job. So there could be, sometimes it indicates that you're kind of, like a chicken with your head cut off, running here and there, and trying to balance things, and having maybe being very busy when it comes to work, which can be good because it can say that you have a lot of business. It just is, there might be like so much happening that you can barely, keep up. And usually, since it's a two, it's implying that there's more than one job. So it could be you're doing a day job, and then you have on the side this other business that you're trying to launch, but you're kind of holding back because you don't really want to you don't want to just commit to that because you're not sure if it's going to work out. I do feel, for some reason though, that some of you have kind of taken the plunge, and actually you may have moved to a different continent. You may have moved really far away, because I do have in the past position the Fool card, the first card of the Major Arcana, and you see that there's this travel connection to it in terms of his knapsack, but it's more of I would say an informal journey in the sense that there may not be a known destination. There's almost like a wandering that may be associated with this card of not really it's not really having this goal in mind. It's just more of the journey than the destination that you have embarked upon. But it does indicate definitely a fresh start, and one where you're really kind of not bringing along any emotional baggage. But it could relate to, I could just see somebody who accepts a job offer in a totally different environment, really far from home. And for Taurus, that is a significant thing, because you're very tied to wherever you're from. As a fixed sign, you're just in love with the familiarity of your surroundings. And I have Taurus rising, so I totally understand that. But the other thing I was thinking too is that some people, if this is a relationship issue and you're balancing, maybe there's someone who's having to decide between two people. Now this could be you, and because there's pentacles, there might be an earth sign person involved in this situation. So it could be a fellow Taurus, it could be a Capricorn or a Virgo individual who's figuring into things. But if you are the person who maybe got involved, it doesn't matter if you got involved with somebody who's married, or if you are married and you got involved with somebody else. I feel like there was it happened innocently. With the Fool card, it indicates innocence. Like there wasn't any kind of scheming, which might be associated with the Seven of Swords, where there was a lot of mental activity about the situation. It was just completely guileless. Maybe you just, it could even be with somebody at work. It could be with either your boss or somebody who is in a position of authority. Maybe they're not over you, or maybe you're not under them, at least in that context. But it could be just somebody who has a certain authority in that workplace, and it happened almost by accident. You just were talking, and maybe the person was a good listener, and somehow one thing led to another, and now you have to decide between two different people. That person might be also like an air sign, since it's related to swords, so you could be talking about Gemini or Libra or Aquarius. But if this is a business situation, it might be that you have really kind of gotten your head together. The swords, the King of Swords is the ultimate kind of mind control, down pat, and you're really like focused on your goals at the moment, and nothing is going to kind of stop you from that. For some people, there might even be litigation related to something in the workplace. That's always a possibility. As a matter of fact, what crosses you is the World card in reverse. So this could be, I could see almost like somebody who is about to retire and they didn't get what they were supposed to get, and they're going to consult a lawyer. Maybe, the Two of Pentacles is about really kind of trying to pay your bills. Sometimes it can mean that you're paying off one bill by taking from another, not paying, paying one bill or portions of one bill for another bill, like kind of just juggling your money and spreading it around as best that you can. Maybe you were hoping to retire and something came up and you're going to have to consult a lawyer. But it could be just simply, or an arbiter, somebody who is in, who speaks between parties. Like if you're in human resources, those kinds of people, they kind of a go-between in that sense. But it could just simply mean that there's something, it's almost like being your own boss. The Two of Pentacles can mean that you may be kind of afraid to go off fully on your own, like the Fool card suggests. Maybe you've taken those steps, those initial steps, but something is keeping you holding on to another job instead of just fully dedicating yourself to your dream job, which is probably something you're creating yourself. The King is in control of their environment, so it's probably something you're creating yourself. For some of you, it could even be where you're using your mind, so like tutoring, your own tutoring service, or other kind of teaching, maybe a home daycare, something along those lines. But whatever it is, you're having a hard time making that transition because the World card in reverse can indicate delays in that. And same with, personal life. If you have been, maybe you were married and, the King of Swords can indicate, consulting a lawyer or consulting a judge, about getting out of a marriage too. If you were deciding between two parties or somebody else was deciding. And it's hard to make, for some reason, it's hard to go into the next phase of your life, because there's some like loose ends, perhaps. The higher message is actually the Hangman card. Maybe you've been trying to control things from your end too long, and maybe you just have to let things play out and just deal with it on that level, and be willing to just accept whatever happens. Let the universe take care of it. Let God, let go and let God. Let God take care of it. Even if it's something you want really badly, I think sometimes that's the best time to do that. And I know, I've been dealing with that myself, and there's certain things that I really feel like, are mine to go after, and yet outer circumstances don't seem to be supporting that in some ways. So it's like we still have to realize that our good is not out there. And I think sometimes that's kind of like a lack consciousness when we pin our hopes on one thing, as if that's the only route to attaining happiness. And really, happiness is an inside job, so it's not really about whatever's happening out there. Obviously, it'd be nice to have the best possible outcome, but we also have to go with what is. We have to accept what is. The advice is the Queen of Wands. So here's another court card. The Queen of Wands is somebody who is very cheerful and positive, very proactive, because it still is like a royalty card. So it still is about being very ambitious, especially not only because it's the Queen, but also Wands is very ambitious. So do pursue your passions. And I'm not talking about a hobby. I'm talking about whatever this thing is. You may be pursuing something that is really speaking to you on an emotional level, on a really creative level. And, be very constructive in your actions, in your words. Don't allow yourself to become cynical, because maybe you've reached some kind of temporary obstacle. Allow, the world to do its thing, or life to do its thing, and you do what you can do on your end. And part of that is just maintaining a real upbeat personality and attitude, and believing that you're deserving of good and that it's going to come to you. And I think it will be much more likely to do so. And the outcome is the Knight of Swords. So this is associated with lawyers. So particularly if this card for personal relationships could be that, if you are in some sort of situation that's very kind of awkward, uncomfortable, because maybe there's tension between you and a spouse, and that person may have very easily been the one that was choosing between you and another person. Maybe they're that person who's choosing, and they chose the other person, and you could easily be the scorned, I was going to say the scorned woman, because most of the people watching this are going to be women. That's just kind of like a cliche, but you have the ability, based upon choosing to take the high road, of not allowing another person's behavior to make you anything less than a very upbeat person, and that you're going to continue to spread positivity. And then you may decide, I'm going to be positive, but I'm also going to consult a lawyer, and I'm going to get out of this relationship. But it can also be just simply becoming much more of a person who is asking for what you need and being very straightforward in it. You know, the Knight of Swords doesn't mince words and doesn't have any kind of pretense. Is just totally almost like a zealot in terms of how they communicate. They communicate very passionately, but very straightforward, in a very straightforward manner, succinctly, and that may, be something that you have to do for whatever reason, whether it is for a personal relationship or for some kind of a business arrangement, where you have to, in some cases it might be that you have to employ the services of somebody who does it, who gets paid to think and speak in a very succinct manner, like a lawyer does, and who knows their stuff, and who is fighting on the behalf of other people. You know, the Knight of Swords is like this person who's an advocate for other people. But this could just be simply part of your mission, of what you're trying to launch. And you're going to feel with this card that you're kind of free. Maybe you had shackles on you when you were doing a different type of job. And it could have been a job in the same field, but you felt like kind of stymied. You know, a perfect example is if you were, let's say you were a journalist, but you were having to report for your local news station, and you had certain guidelines laid out by that station. And you said, I've always wanted to have my own blog, and I don't want to have to answer to anybody. I want to be able to say what I want to say. Well, this is like, the very outspoken blogger or vlogger, somebody who wants to do something along those lines, where you get to be who you are and state, what you feel. Maybe that's how you want to make money, doing something with the internet, with communications, either, writing entries or doing a YouTube channel where you get to spout your opinions. But so that's very interesting reading for you for the end of the month, Taurus. I hope you enjoyed this. If you'd like a private reading, you can click on the link below, but otherwise, have a wonderful rest of October. It's going very quickly. Bye.